Okay, welcome to the last section of the BitBadges development course. In this section and in this lecture specifically, we're going to be focusing on more so on the actual core blockchain side, such as what are messages, transactions, how to customize them, and so on. Um, Up until now, we've kind of focused on all the stuff built on top of BitBadges. So from the API, the indexer, to the SDK, sign in with BitBadges, and so on. However, you as an application developer, in some cases, and not too many, we feel that a lot can be done directly inside and through those other tools built on top. But in some cases, you might need to interact with the blockchain, directly. And so if you're unfamiliar with Cosmos SDK or how Cosmos is, I'd recommend um, first kind of browsing a little bit of their documentation. BitBadges is built using Cosmos SDK, so ton of like the run a node, like the messages, everything from there is like super similar and actually is the same in a lot of cases. So all the documentation is pretty applicable to BitBadges because it just uses the same framework. So we kind of refer you there for a lot of this stuff, but in this video we'll kind of go into depth into what BitBadges, the custom stuff of BitBadges. So with Cosmos SDK transactions, they're made up of one or more messages. So messages you can just think of as like kind of an action. And so you can have multiple actions in a single transaction, or you can have just one, and the transaction is made up of one or more messages pretty much. So tons of Cosmos SDK modules already have pre-configured messages. So this is kind of where we got all the, the node stuff, the banking stuff like sending the credits on chain and stuff like that. All of that is through native Cosmos stuff. But then we also built our own modules. So the main one is badges, the X badges module. And if you want to take a look through this is in the documentation again through the Cosmos SDK messages, and pretty much this is how we create, update, delete collections, address lists, and transfer badges on chain. The maps is more for like the protocols. We didn't really talk too much about the protocols in this course, but this is how we do that on chain. And then the other stuff is also miscellaneous, like anchors that we didn't go into, and WASM-X, which is for smart contracts. But yeah, so you can, so for these messages, you can build transactions using one or more messages, pretty much the gist of it and what I wanted to explain. So if we go to the BitBadges site, you will see on the custom transactions, or create, and then you can do custom transactions. And here you can, this is for developers only, but you can see all the supported messages, such as like deleting the collection, updating the collection, and we will, it's kind of a custom builder that you can, mix and match messages as you wish, and then you can actually sign and broadcast the transaction to the blockchain. In this case, it was malformed, so it gives you an error. But yeah, this is a neat way for you to, as a developer, to interact with the blockchain just through an interface. You don't have to do anything programmatically. The other neat thing with this helper tool is that you can do stuff like, find it. You can actually pass in via the query params the type and message of the transaction. So you can actually do something like this, like pass in the message create protocol, and then just actually, pass in all the message value, and then it'll actually auto-populate instead of you having to complete the form wherever it is. So yeah, it would just, like, for example, if you pass in the message create protocol or create map, it would actually just pass it in here, and just it would automatically be added once you just navigate to the site. If you need actually more programmatic signing and broadcasting, you can actually do so with the SDK. You can do so with docs. You can, with this kind of approach, you have to generate all like the transaction context, like the gas, get the account sequence and stuff. With the interface, it's kind of managed for you and done on our end. But both options are available and could be applicable to your use case. Once you have a full transaction, you will actually like broadcast it to a node and then actually get it confirmed on the blockchain. So these docs here will actually walk you through that whole process. And yeah, For most applications, we don't envision that you'll actually need it. Because everything can be done in Sight or done through a helper tool approach. But I did want to add this section into the lectures because some applications might want to do it and actually help. It might actually help you implement your application. So as you see here, the quick starter will also help you sign messages, sign transactions, or actually help you navigate to the outsourced our helper tool here. So if you want to get started with that, I'd refer you to the quick start first, or if you want to just do it through the interface directly, I'd refer you here. But that's kind of how you can implement custom messages and build custom transactions with BitBadges.